my children were young, I suffered, as all parents and grandparents do, at every grocery store and pharmacy where the captains of commerce put lots of candy right in front of the register where you're waiting in line, so there's a nice long pause to entice your little ones. And it works. When it's right in front of you, it makes you think that a pack of Starburst or a Snicker bars is just the ticket. And at least as adults, we have a sense of perspective, but for kids, the suggestion is a command. Time for candy. And boy, don't they let their parents and grandparents know about it. So I tried this. I wrote down a list before I went to the grocery store, and I'd show it to my kids. Here's the list. This is what we're going to get. We're going to buy that and nothing else. But then I'd be going down the aisle, and I'd see mustard, and I'd think, oh, yeah, we're kind of low on mustard, and I'd put it in. It wasn't on the list. And then I'd go buy the chicken and say, oh, it's on sale. Maybe we'll have chicken. And so I'd grab some of that. It wasn't on the list. But it's not on the list, my kids complained. And no matter how much I explained my reasoning, I got their objection. Saying you are going to do something, like buying only what's on the list, and then not doing it is cheesy and hypocritical and dishonest. As they say, the proof of what we're going to do is in the pudding that we actually do it. Kids, young people, are such good barometers for hypocrisy, and as soon as they get that there's an inconsistency between what we say and what we do, well, aren't they just compelled to point it out? Frankly, it's one of the reasons that churches struggle to retain young people. Studies show that when churches preach love and acceptance, but our behavior belies it when we're judgmental, especially around things like sexuality and climate change, and responding to immigration, and paying attention to the concern about violence caused by guns, either to self or to others, they see the hypocrisy. Today's passage might redirect our attention to our own behavior as individuals and as organizations as the best measure of our character. Not what we say in our mission statement, not how good our website is, but do we actually live out our beliefs? Our behavior, not our beliefs, not our thoughts, not our prayers, not our theology, our behavior is what is in view. This passage begs us to do some inventory taking. If I say I value my friends but can't find time for them, do I really value them? If I value my garden tools but leave them to rust in the garden, do I value them? If I say I value my church but don't give time and talent generously, do I value my church? If I say I value the earth but do little to offer care, little to change my behavior around how I garden and use pesticides or advocate for care of earth, so on and so forth. You get the point. And just to make this point clear, this is not a point at you sermon. My mother used to say to me, to see what you really value, look at your checkbook, which I do on a regular basis, and frankly, I am almost always a little upset by what I see. always, I have some growing to do around aligning my own values with what I say. The point is that the proof is in the pudding for all of us. What are we doing with what we say we value? What are we doing? And honestly, we are all hypocrites. We espouse strong moral views on things and then behave in self-serving ways. We set high standards for others and then excuse ourselves for not needing to live up to those. Now, this passage today is one that helps point that out, but we are also reminded that we live with a God of forgiveness. So yes, we are all hypocrites, but yes, God forgives us and gives us the opportunity to start afresh and try again tomorrow. We will be forgiven, and that's why when we mess up and fall short, we can start again. So, what are the ideals that we espouse? Is there a disconnect for us? Can we spend time paying attention to developing more consistency between what we value, what we say we value, and what we do? How is the living of our days bearing out those values we hold dear? How are we using our time to be compassion in the world, to speak for justice? How are we using our resources, not just for our own comfort or entertainment or private nesting, but also for the communities in which we live? What's in your pudding?